Spleen is this mother energy. So spleen loves nourishment and softness. And so I tell you that just to think about that when we eat. So cold. It is not good for the spleen energy, but it's also not good for the health of your blood to consume cold foods.
Welcome to the world of energy, where science meets spirit. Ancient wisdom merges with cutting-edge knowledge, and the possibilities for a healthier, happier you are endless.
Hi, everybody. This is Blaine. Welcome to another episode of Energy Works. And I'm solo today, and this is a follow-up episode. A few weeks ago, I was planning to do an episode on food energetics and blood building, and I was sorting through my thoughts around it, and so much spleen energy matters when it comes to the blood building topic that I decided I first needed to do an episode just on spleen. And then I could do one like stacking bricks. Then I could do one on blood building. So the spleen episode came out on February 23rd, 2026. So if you haven't listened to the spleen one, maybe go listen to that first. Or if you have listened to it or watched it on YouTube and maybe you've forgotten, it'd be worth going to that again, because these two episodes go together. I'm going to mention spleen a little bit, but not so much today. Today's going to be more quick and focused just on blood building. My teacher in food energetics says that when in doubt, start with spleen. So if you're having any kind of health issue or wellness issue or sleep issue, just any energy balancing issue, and what you're eating, if there's even a chance that could be affecting it, then start with spleen. Spleen is the source of chi and blood. And there's all these sayings around it. Two of these, they're basically saying the same thing, very common phrases in traditional Chinese medicine. Qi is the commander of blood, but blood is the mother of qi. Qi is the commander of blood, but blood is the mother of qi. Another way of saying it is qi moves blood, but blood carries qi. And so what that means is in Chinese medicine, what carries our qi, what carries our energy around our body is our blood. And the more rich and nourished our blood is, the more qi we have, the more vital qi, the more our qi is deep and nourishing and moving. And if we have weaker blood, we have weaker qi. And if we have very weak blood, then they say that our qi it doesn't have an anchor. It's not being carried purposefully. It's just kind of floating. And so the way our qi is really effective is in partnership with the richness and the nourishment of our blood. In Chinese medicine, they say that menopause is the second spring. And they have all these phrases for your times of life. When you have your baby teeth, those are called your milk years. I don't have them all memorized, but I've heard them all over time. So if you're postmenopausal, you're in your second spring. And if you're still in your first spring and you're listening, stay here, because everything that I'm going to say matters more and more as we age. So the material anchor of our qi is our blood. For women in their 50s to 80s, blood is the internal lubricant. And so we get this more drying skin and more drying hair, and our constitution starts to become a little more dry. And so by nourishing our blood, we help alleviate that. Spleen is the blood factory. I talk more about that in the previous episode. And spleen likes softness, not go, go, go and hustle and grind and no sleep and conquer. And that's not spleen energy. Spleen is this mother energy. So spleen loves nourishment and softness. And so I tell you that to think about that when we eat. So cold. It is not good for the spleen energy, but it's also not good for the health of your blood to consume cold foods. If you've listened to any other food energetics episodes with me, you've heard me say this many times. I have at this point almost completely removed all cold foods from my body. I don't do any more cold smoothies. I do my drinks room temperature. When I go to restaurants, I ask for warm or hot water with lemon, like they'll write to me in a mug, like they're bringing me tea, but it's just hot water with lemon. Because even when I ask for water, no ice, it's just really cold water. And then I am dampening my digestion. We have this digestive fire. And when we dump cold water on it, it's like taking your campfire and covering it with wet leaves. It ruins your digestion. And so as someone who grew up in the United States, I grew up in the state of Oklahoma. It's a very hot state. We have refrigeration. I think that's happened in the United States. I know that because my grandmother was very proud of this. My grandmother came from a small town in Texas, my mother's mother, and her family was the first family in town to get a refrigerator. And I heard this many times growing up from my grandmother. And I think because we all, by this point, have brought refrigerators into our lives, that we're just used to cold and we yank things right out of the refrigerator and we eat them straight from the refrigerator or straight from the freezer. And we get kind of habituated to these cold things. And so it's taken me quite a while to truly remove everything cold. Even I sometimes have carbonated drinks. I'll say the Chinese medicine food energetics doesn't love carbonation. But if you're going to do it, you don't want it to be cold. And so I like to drink Spindrift. It's just sparkling water and fruit, no natural flavor, no sugar, no anything like that, just actual fruit and sparkling water. And I even drink that. I have one a day, if any, and I won't let myself have more than one because I just don't need that much carbonation. But I just pull it off the shelf in the pantry and I drink it unchilled. So if you can, again, spleen likes softness, spleen likes warm, spleen likes cozy. And so consuming cold foods is none of that. So it's not good for spleen and it's not good for your blood building to have cold food. We don't want refined sugar or anything like that. And this is another one I've really been working on over the past really 6 months, is not having this dead food. And by dead food, I mean, food that maybe I make a pot of soup and I eat some of it and then I shove some of it in the freezer. And then, at some point in the future, I get it out of the freezer and I recook it. The chi is different. And it's the same thing with leftovers. It doesn't have to go to the freezer. If I cook something, stick something in the fridge, take it out, reheat it, so I'm not eating it cold, and eat it, the chi is different from when you just cook something. And so you want to always add a little bit of something fresh. If you're reheating something that you froze or refrigerated, sat in the fridge over the night, you're reheating, give it some fresh herbs, throw in some fresh spinach, add some amount of fresh food into it because the chi is different when it is fresh. So we want live chi. We don't want dead. We don't want, food that's had so much of the chi removed from it. for our blood building from the lifestyle, overthinking, the busy mind is not good for the blood, and using the eyes for too long. And so being on too many screens, on your phone, on your computer, on your TV, even if you're reading a lot and you're overusing your eyes, that is not good for your blood health. And over sweating, this goes with the hot. So if you're outside a lot, I don't know, playing pickleball in the hot summer, or doing hot yoga, or hiking or running, or doing anything like that, and you're doing a lot of sweating, that's really draining the chi in your blood. And so you need to provide enough rest. They have this term in Chinese medicine that is horizontal rest. And they say all through the literature that women in their second spring need this horizontal rest, which means lying on your back. You don't have to take a nap, but lie on the couch and rest a little bit, lie on the floor. I love lying on the floor with legs up the wall. That counts as horizontal rest. And maybe I cup my eyes, I put my hands over my eyes, but giving ourselves these horizontal rest breaks 1 or 2 times throughout the day is really nourishing for our blood. We want wet, warm, and welcoming food. 3 W's, wet, warm, and welcoming. Soups, stews, and porridges. Great for the blood. Congee it's a cooked rice. It doesn't have to be rice. It's traditionally rice, but it's a long simmered grain porridge. And they call it soul food in China. It's very warm and welcoming and soft and nourishing and easily digestible. All of these foods I'm talking about, the stews and the porridges and the soups and the congee, is easy to digest, easy to nourish the body. And puddings. In China, they love warm puddings. And if you've been to China or seen photos of desserts in China, you'll see they're very gelatinous. It's like you're getting these bowls of like jiggly jello stuff. And that is because this texture is easy to digest and very nourishing for the blood. We want naturally sweet flavor. We love sweet flavor to nourish the spleen and nourish the blood, but that's not refined sugar. So naturally sweet flavor from fruits, from sweet potatoes, grains, roots. We want to avoid ice cream, cold refined sugar. I will say, if you're going to have ice cream in the middle of the afternoon. You're not trying to digest anything nourishing in the middle of the afternoon. So on a hot summer day, we don't want ice cream after dinner at night, ever. Do not eat it after dinner. There's so many reasons that that's not the time to eat ice cream. But after lunch, after you've digested your lunch, before dinner, so you can digest your ice cream before dinner, it's the only thing your body has to work on. It's cold. It's harsh sugars. It is not what your spleen or your blood or anything loves, but ice cream can be delicious. It can be a treat. And so if you're going to have it in the middle of the afternoon, root vegetables are rooting your energy into the earth. So you don't have so much, you're more grounded. You don't have so much of this anxiety, floaty feeling. Beets. Beets are fantastic for blood building. A few months ago, I knew that I needed to work on my blood building. My body was giving me many signs, and I was taking a food energetics class, and my instructor, it was online, and she had PowerPoint slides, and the instructor put up a slide with beets on it. And I mean, my energy just went right to those beets on my computer. My energy was like, I want that. Those beets look delicious. I need those. I couldn't go buy beets fast enough. And then I went on this little kick where I ate beets every single day for probably like 2.5 weeks. I was eating beets every single day and I felt so much better. I have been focusing on all of the things that I'm talking to you about right now for several months, and all of the symptoms I was having that indicate that my blood needed nourishment have all gone away. So beets, roots and yams, nourishing broth, and dates. There's a date they use in China. It's called the jujube. It's spelled Jujube. It's pronounced jujube. It's a wonderful date for blood building. Jujube and beet are two primary things that are great to put in your diet, but all dates are good as well. So are goji berries and dark cherries. Greens and seeds, spinach, kale, black sesame seeds. They love black sesame seeds in traditional Chinese medicine, and I have brought lots of black sesame seeds into my diet, and blackstrap molasses. I personally eat oatmeal every day. I don't think I've said this yet on this podcast. Never skip breakfast. It is terrible for spleen and blood building to skip breakfast. As soon as you get up in the morning, have some warm water or some warm tea first thing before you have anything else. And then have some sort of breakfast that is what I've been talking about: soups, stews, porridges. I have oatmeal every morning, and I put blackstrap molasses in it, and I put fruit in it. And so it's warm, and then it's naturally sweet, and I put cinnamon in it. So cinnamon, fruit, blackstrap molasses in my oatmeal. I have it every single day. You know, there's other things I mix in my oatmeal as well. Congee is also a wonderful breakfast, but think of never skipping breakfast and having something like that. And make sure you stop eating 2 hours before bedtime. So that's what I wanted to share with you. And I'll come back to the horizontal rest one more time, because I know I've said a lot in this episode, and it's a pretty quick one, so you can listen to it a few times if you need to, or if you want to take notes. But find time in your day to lie on your back and rest 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, a few times a day. I've been doing that, and I don't fall asleep. I just calm down and rest and rejuvenate myself. I sleep way better at night when I do that. And again, the symptoms I've been having of weaker blood have completely receded, and I've been feeling really strong and vital. If you have any questions or comments about anything, please let me know. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next time on Energy Works. Alrighty, Energy fans, that's a wrap on another positively charged episode of Energy Works. Lauren, this is the part where we get to use our energy puns.
It's been electrifying, hasn't it, Blaine? We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
If you're feeling amped up and you want to keep your energy flowing, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform.
And we'd love to hear from you, so please take a moment to leave us a review. Your feedback helps us continue to deliver content that resonates, so light up our inbox.
And spark a conversation with your friends to tell them about us. And we'll see you next time on Energy Works.